Good evening, Coach. Tony Sanchez from San Diego Punto Football. Jaden Shaw was everywhere tonight, from the score sheet all the way to getting herself into the book. How does she adapt to a complete team that had a great performance tonight? And is there any notes for the future for this team?
Sorry, could you just repeat that middle part again?
Yeah, she was part of a complete team here and then had a great performance. And is there any notes for this team moving forward in the tournament?
Yeah, super happy for Jaden. I think we saw her be really impactful in a lot of different ways. Excellent in the pocket, providing width for us when we needed it, providing final passes, and then obviously, participating in things like, quick restarts and scoring goals, and then being in a position in the box to finish a first time cross, which is something we've worked on, but it's still not easy to finish, and she did an excellent job, and just kind of a part of a lot of our offensive threat. And I also just want to praise her defensive effort. This is a really critical part of the game, and something that we rely on all of our players for, and I thought she had a very complete performance. So those goals may be the icing on the cake, but lots and lots of different things that I'm very pleased about.
Hi, Coach. Justin Ruderman from SBI Soccer. Just in these first two games, you have now gotten everybody onto the pitch on the roster except for Jane Campbell. Just how important is it not only to get everybody on the pitch, but give them significant minutes, and also it seems like different roles for certain players as well?
Yeah, first and foremost, we're a team. We've talked early on about how important putting a shift in is going to be. We hope to play full 6 games here, and with 4 players fully fit in their season, and then everybody else coming from preseason, it's really important that not only we're thinking about the combinations of players that we're playing, the systems that best suit the players that are on the pitch at the same time, but also like the overall health and well-being, and making sure that we're prepared to go the full 6 games and also send them back into their club environments ready to continue to prepare for the journey that we will be on this summer.
Hi, Twila, Scott French from Soccer America. One, I wanted to get your thoughts on what we're seeing from Alex Morgan. She scores every time she wears 7 now. She also was very involved up top, and then off of that, just your thoughts on the game as a whole. What worked and what perhaps didn't?
So very pleased for Alex. I think I just watched the goals back, and that goal, I believe, started with the 3rd goal. Started with a Crystal, stepping in, and we had 2 first passes forward really quickly, early ball in, and Alex was actually pushing that line back, and it fell. And then we had a second phase, and she repositioned to put herself in the box, and that's a typical, Alex Morgan goal. So I hope the first part didn't get unrecognized. The first part, very critical to making that second phase of play happen. And Alex and I spent a lot of time post-World Cup talking about, what worked for her, what didn't work for her, and some of these balls that you're seeing played across the back line or behind the back line, early balls, those are some of her bread and butter. She's been drooling for those finishes. Those crosses in the box are things that are those type of finishes are very, Alex Morgan-esque. And but she still has to do her part, and she's putting herself in those positions and capitalizing on them. It's great to get 2 goals in her first 2 games, but that's kind of the expectation for our 9s as they step on the pitch for us, that they will finish those chances and validate the work that we're all doing.
And then what worked and what didn't?
I thought that we did a really good job of putting ourselves in these repeated moments. I've kind of referenced this really all the way back to September, but trying to create these goal-scoring moments that are very predictable for us and less predictable for the opponent. I thought we had some really good early crosses that set up those first-time finishes. I thought we had some great crosses from the half space. I thought we moved the ball really well. I felt like we could have moved the ball faster at times. I felt like we could have sent players a little bit higher up and had some of those passes then be not so long, doesn't take the ball so long to travel, but we could have been a little bit closer to each other. But I'm really pleased that we were trying to trying things. You know, one of the things that I thought went really well is we had a lot of play on the left-hand side of the field. We've played a system where our right fullback is high, and we've had a lot of play on the right-hand side. And one of the challenges to the group, regardless of what type of system we were playing, is to make sure we're a little bit more balanced in our attack. And you start to see, you know, Tierna and Crystal and Lindsay and Trin and Rose, and then even Alex coming across, and a lot of numbers on the left, creating chances on the left. I thought that was really great. Argentina is a really tough team to play against. And for a team that's looking to counterattack, I thought we did an excellent job, you know, shutting down their outlets. A couple of talented players sitting in very specific pockets that I imagine were very well designed by their staff looking at us. But they didn't have a single chance from transition, and I'm really proud of that. And I think we left a lot on the table tonight. I think that we still have a lot in us. We left some goals on the table, and we're just working through those moments. But I have every confidence that we'll continue to grow as the tournament goes on and beyond.
Head coach Cameron Nader with the Sporting Tribune. Corbin Albert played 45 minutes, but they were an impressive 45 minutes. I know you've talked about her versatility in the past, coming into that first camp, you know, and playing multiple roles. How important is that? What did you see from her tonight, and then kind of what does the future hold for her?
I thought she was absolutely excellent tonight. Got on the ball a lot, was able to help us by bouncing balls, also was able to face forward. She was looking to play in the pocket. We weren't always ready to play into the pocket, but I thought she did a really good job looking at that. You can start to see synergy between her and Lindsay, and it's just really difficult to train in multiple positions, especially if the team is, you know, has some variety in their play. So 2 different positions, different systems, very difficult. And to do that at such a young age is pretty impressive. We've talked a lot about, individually, Corbin and I, about how there might be an experience gap, but there's not a talent gap. And we spoke prior to the game about one of the ways to capitalize on these experiences is to try everything and get the most that you possibly can out of these minutes that you're getting, and almost multiply the effect of the minutes that you're getting, because you're trying so many things and getting little lessons along the way. And already right after the game, she was like, I think I could do this, and I think I could do that. And I'm like, well, I think so too. Let's see it in the next game. So she's well on her way.
Thank you so much. Hi, Coach. It's Maria Rodriguez from Sportis, and I want to know, how do you plan to maintain the positivity, and the mentality and the good level of the team for the next games? Because I think it's going to be a little bit harder next week.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is a really, you know, the most professional of the professional, motivated group. They don't need motivating from me. But we get to live and work together, and working together is really important, but living together on the road for a month is also really important. We spent a lot of time at the beginning of camp talking about how we wanted to work and live together. We're all in agreement that it's important to capitalize on every moment that we have, but also to enjoy it. And I think it's just more of the same, and holding ourselves accountable to the agreements that we made at the beginning of camp. But this is a fun group to be around with wonderful women, and we'll be positive because we're positive by nature. We believe that we can do all things together, and it is a positive environment.
At this time, I move on to the media who has joined on virtually. Jonathan, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Thanks, Jonathan Tannenwald from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Hi, Twila. You spoke a few minutes ago about rotating the players and the importance of that for the players' health and such, but also you're judging the talent in this tournament. You know, you're judging it for this tournament heading toward the Olympics. I know the rotation for that reason too has been a priority of yours. And have you seen what you want to see so far as the tournament maybe now gets to a stage where I figured you might start to solidify an 18 a little bit more? Thanks.
It's a great question. I don't think decisions and things that you look at are in a game or 2 games. I think that process has begun a long time ago and will continue beyond this tournament. And the way that those spots eventually will be solidified will be based on the out and out performance of players, as they'll have every opportunity to make this team. And Of course, I still have unanswered questions, and part of that's because I think we have a huge capacity as a team, and the team hasn't hit its capacity yet. So those questions, some of those answers are still on the table, but I'm very pleased with the things that I do know so far, and it's very clear in my mind where we're currently at and what questions remain, but those are for myself and Emma.
Orlando, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Gracias. Buenas noches. Gracias, buenas noches. Twila, Orlando Castelán, Servicio Informativo en Deportes. Hoy se vio un equipo muy bueno por parte de ustedes, tuvieron mucho tiempo el balón, generaron muchas llegadas y muchos goles. ¿Qué tan complicado va a ser el partido contra México, de lo que ha visto de esta selección mexicana, y si le ha sorprendido el juego de México, del que van a tener, y que se puede, quién se va a quedar con ese primer puesto del grupo, si va a ser un partido difícil, un partido abierto, cómo lo toma hoy en día ustedes y sus jugadores?
Thank you for that question. Mexico is always a rivalry game. We respect them. We know they're very talented, hardworking, organized. They are playing a little bit differently than they have in the past. We're going to approach this game like we approach every game, which is to do our very best to put ourselves in a position to win while also growing within our style of play and trying things that will help us, I think, in the future. And I expect that they make changes and they do what's in the best interest of their team, and we'll do what's in the best interest of our team, and it'll be a great and fun game.
Jeff, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Thank you. Hi, Twila. Jeff Kassouf with Equalizer. There's often talk of combination play in these subgroups, and you mentioned the left side and the build out earlier a few minutes ago. Just wondering, 2 games in, which of those groups do you feel like has been clicking? Which maybe do you want to see maybe develop more? And granted that they were 2 different systems and things in the different games.
I thought both groups had excellent performances. I thought that the way that we scored our goals was very true to what we've trained, very predictable, starting to be repeated moments. Even the penalty kicks that were drawn were from, I don't want to say design because there's free play and the players are making great decisions on their own, but things that we're actually trying to do. I thought both groups of players had great performances. I thought tactically both games went really well for us. And I expect that both, if you're talking about subgroups and in your case, maybe dividing it by 2, left and right, I expect them to be, both sides to be excellent. And they have different roles and responsibilities, and both teams that we've put out the last few days, those subgroups had different roles and responsibilities even from tonight. So it's about executing what's asked of them, and we're asking this team to have more tactical flexibility, not just whole group tactics, but subgroup tactics and even individual tactics. And I expect variety and execution moving forward.
We have one final question. Megan, you can go ahead and ask your question at this time.
Hi, Twila. Meg Linehan from The Athletic. Just in terms of when Argentina goes down to 10 players, I know you said that you left some goals on the table, but did you get any information from that kind of game state of being able to go up a player, get the looks that you wanted, maybe if the finishes weren't there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm also thinking about making sure that we're going in with, not a lot of disciplinary cards, managing the end of a game in a very emotional state, and I thought we did a good job of that. I think there's still room for a little bit of improvement, but that's a big part to tournament play. I felt we could have had a few players play a little bit higher, and it took us a little bit too long to execute that on the field. But some of these repeated moments that I'm speaking of, like the ball that Foxy sends across, or some of these half space crosses, or the corner kicks earned, are positive. And I absolutely would have loved to score more goals, and I think it's an expectation when we have opportunities that we need to put them away, but also very pleased to be at this point healthy, very few disciplinary measures, good goal differential, and very pleased with the players.
Coach Twila Kilgore for Team USA, thank you very much. With this, we have come to the end of